Hey, McKenna, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I am good. I'm excited for this.
Me too. I'm buzzing.
Yes, I was just thinking it's been 2 years since I've done a reading for you last.
I'd be really interested to see what's changed in that two
Yeah,
years.
that would be yeah. Because this is also because I have changed my reading because when I first started doing these readings, I did them offline.
Okay.
And you remember that? Like you just, you give me permission and I just write my notes and then we had a call afterwards in which I shared my notes.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, I've moved to a more collaborative approach. So I do the readings live, so in person, well, fine, virtually in person. Um, and then I already explained this a little bit to you before I hit record, is that sometimes the person I'm reading for will journey with me and receive some information themselves, and sometimes they don't, and that's fine as well. Then I'll just receive it for them. And then as the information comes through, we can process it together, we can look at it together, see where it fits, and what other questions come up.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
When you journey together, do you see each other, or is it more like that you feel that each other's in the same space, or do you see something different?
That is a very good question. It depends. The first time, and that was an accidental one, the first time I did more of a collaborative reading with someone. So that means that we're both doing the work together. Um, we were together in her records, which was really interesting to me because I had never seen her records like that,
Okay.
right? Because when I read her records by myself, I see a different space. So in this case, it really felt she felt that I was there, right? And I was able to because she at one point she was hiding underneath a desk, and I was like, well, like feeling very uncomfortable. And I was like, do
Mm.
you want me there? And she was like, oh yeah, I can make some space. So that was we were really in it together. We didn't see each other, but we sensed each other. But now you're asking that. That was the only time I've had that.
Okay,
So
interesting.
so mostly it kind of feels like it, how am I going to describe that? Um, it's almost like there's two screens and we're both watching them, and then everybody gets like a little slightly different angles sometimes, and
Okay.
then together it all makes a lot of sense.
Right.
But I've never had, I mean, it might happen again, but that was like the one reading I'm like, oh wow, we're literally in this
Mm.
together, because I was also able to follow her through her records, right? um so that was, yeah, that's a really good question. Yeah, yeah. But it definitely, I mean, and that's what I've begun to believe about the records is all of this, whether the person I'm reading for was able to see anything, what they're going to see, how it's going to feel, what the collaboration is like, very much depends on where that person is, what the question is, because sometimes there's just a question that will lead to something that the records are like, maybe it's not in the best interest of the person I'm reading for to see this themselves. So maybe you interpret it for them.
Okay.
So it's very much all about, so I completely trust that they have our best interest at heart. So I'm just flowing with it. So whatever happens, needs to happen in that moment. And the rest is just, let's just follow along. Yeah.
The practice allowing.
Yes, let's just allow it to happen, which I know is a really easy thing for you to do.
Yes, so easy. So
So I
chill.
am very curious because because we haven't done this in person before, so I am very curious to see what will happen on your end. And like I said, if nothing happens, that's fine. We'll still get what we need to get today. So can you briefly explain, because we exchanged some emails and we came to a question. Can you just briefly again like sort of sum up why you're here?
Yeah, of course. Um, it feels a bit a complicated journey, but I've always wanted to act, and I felt very drawn to that. But then over the last fair few years, maybe since 2021, 2022, because I know when we last spoke, it was talking about how it felt blocked for me, and almost like it wasn't quite my path anymore, but I felt quite sad about that, and I felt quite frustrated that I felt drawn to that still, but wasn't getting the opportunities, wasn't being seen. So I felt quite stuck in between wanting to do it and pursue it, but also coming up against roadblock after roadblock. And not just like your normal rejection, average rejection sort of thing, but very much felt like being stopped. Um, so I know we worked through last time that I had like a vow in a previous life and that needed um, sorting, for lack of better words. Um,
Really good way of, that's a nice way of putting it. I
um,
would say burn the shit out of it, but I like your version too. Yeah.
and then we had to reintegrate part because it was very complex. I'd messed things up royally in a past life, so that's great.
We all did, so that's good. That's good to know. Yeah.
And then since then, I've not really come back to it and also not really pursued it, and I still miss it. It just
Mhm.
feels like a bit at a crossroads, and I'm like, I do want to do this full time. I don't know if that's on the cards for me. I don't know that going about it the way I used to go about it feels aligned for me, which is how the industry tells you you should pursue this kind of job. So it's kind of being stuck in like, I don't know next steps, how to kind of get myself moving again in that direction.
Mhm.
Uh, I ventured off and I'm producing and doing all of those things. I'm currently creating a feature film with a group of friends, and I've taken a role in that. So that's all stuff that's kind of not paving the way, but like almost small steps towards that direction again. But it's kind of I just want clarity on what that is for me, which direction it is, and then also how I can take those steps if I'm being told that the normal path isn't the way to get there.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, that's a very messy.
And this is why we exchange some emails to figure out, okay, what's at the crux of this. But I do, because what I find really interesting is that you're so very clear on the normal path to doing this work, to pursuing this work, that doesn't feel aligned. So there is something there. What is there? And I that just make I see that everywhere. Is that a lot of creative people are like, I still want to do this, but I don't want to do it the way we're supposed to do it. There's something wrong about it, or it's no longer me. So are there different ways of exploring this? And I think the records are great for that.
It's
For
like
that question.
we touched on human design, and I said that I'm a projector and that
Mhm.
waiting for invitations is the thing. I think when you say that it's not aligned with a lot of creators, it's almost like you're not being seen and you're not being valued, which is like my key indicator that something is right for me in the normal way that you go about applying for acting roles or trying to get into the room with casting directors or whatever. So yeah, it's a really weird thing. But then I also obviously ego or gaslighting myself, who knows, being like, maybe it's just that I'm a bit sensitive to rejection and I don't want to go back into the hard work and I don't want to network and graft and get my name out there again because I've done that for so many years, blah blah blah. So I'm kind of like, yeah, is it just me being dramatic or is it not aligned?
Which, and that is a very good question. Like, does this just trigger a
Yeah.
lot of stuff that I don't necessarily want to deal with, or how do I deal with it? If I do decide to work through it, or is it simply a case of it doesn't work because it's not me?
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah. So the question we, after some emailing, we came up with is because I also really much sense that the question of like, I want to act, but is it part of what I'm here for? Right? Is it part of my purpose? And also like to what extent then?
Yeah.
So the question we came up with together is acting still part of my creative purpose? So that will be our sort of starting point. And then if yes, um, what can Makenna do to bring in more abundance and opportunities through this work? And in that part, of course, like it would be very nice to see, okay, if this still is aligned with you, how then can you align the work with you?
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yes, that'll be. So let's see what the records have have in terms of an answer and some hopefully some good action steps and some clarity. for you. Okay. So I want to invite you to close your eyes. And we'll take some deep breaths together to how are you feeling generally, like in terms of are you feeling centered, grounded, all over the place? Like where are you?
I
And
mean,
how
I'm
much you have
always
to
all
clear.
over the place, I'm not gonna lie. I feel quite like jittery today. Today, excited, nervous, I guess, like a bit. Yeah.
That's not a bad energy. Like it's is there curiosity in there and an openness?
Yeah, and I think there's also an element of like fear, but not fear of going in, fear of the answer being what I don't want it to be.
But that is very good to know, right? Because we try to enter the records open to whatever's going to come up,
Mhm.
right? But there will like we will have stakes, so it's good to know that on beforehand that ego might try to
Manipulate what we're saying.
because you would like a particular
Yeah.
outcome. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, I trust. I hope you do too. But I trust in the meantime that whatever the records show us is for the highest good.
Yeah.
So even though, like, even if initially you're like, "Oh, this is disappointing," there is a like, let's say we get, "It's not your girl. This is not your purpose. Go do something else," right? Like, let's say we get that, then we can ask, "Okay, well, what then?"
Yeah. And I think
Right?
that's important because where I'm feeling misaligned and not having a direction or an answer, like I can't keep feeling misaligned. Like it's not a happy place to be, right?
No.
So whatever the answer is, I'm like, okay, yeah, even if that sucks and it's not what I want to hear, if it makes me feel aligned and you know, centered, I guess, then I'm happy with that.
And that's of course the work we can do when we're in the records. If we get like, no, that no, stop it. We still they will they might speak to me like that, but they generally do not speak to the people I read for. But that's
Everybody would
just
hear it anyway.
they reflect they speak to me the way I would speak to myself.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm like, do you have to say that? Like with this tone, they're like, girl, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's exactly how I um move in the world. So you get back what you put out, right? But this is the thing, if we do get a no, right, or we have something that you're like, oh, that is a bitter pill to swallow, we can just take a moment there and then open up the avenue. Okay, if not A, then can you show us B? Can you show us what is, right? If it's not this, can you show us? So let's do that. Let's do that journey. Okay, so close your eyes. We'll do this because since you just admitted to be like, let's do a couple of deep breaths together. Just bring your energy back to you. And then maybe also give all the energy that doesn't belong to you right now back to where it came from. Just send it back to sender. So that the energy in your space is yours. How does that feel? So, do I have permission to open your Akashic Records?
Yeah.
Let's do it. I ask the Divine Source to surround us in a circle of white light for protection and strength. May Makenna be joined in her intention to expand her soul to remember who she really is and why she is here, as it is written in the Akashic Records. I ask the record keepers at the highest divine level to allow me to open and read the Records of Makenna for this purpose. Only the light is welcome here. May be open to receive the most helpful, sacred, and empowering guidance. So it is.
It's funny because it feels exactly how it did in January, where I'm like, oh, there's a massive starry sky. No, there's not. Yeah, there is. There's not.
So your records are now open. It's funny because you're just like, and it's so you're ready. So this is just for those who are watching now. Before we went on, we I hit record. McKenna shared that she uh, did one of my meditations in January, my New Year's meditation, which is a guided one. Um, and you were saying it feels exactly the same.
So I
Okay.
just start in like a field under like a big starry sky, and it's like really lovely and quiet. But it's I'm not in yet, and I have to find the inn.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you, um, do you feel like you're not in because you're not in a building, or do you know you're not in?
Yeah, I think it's maybe that it's just outside, which is where I was trying to find an inn last time, maybe.
Okay, because sometimes your records can be a field or a forest or a mountaintop.
Mm.
So just check in with yourself for a moment. Like, and sometimes it is true that we arrive in a landscape and then we need to find the door, right? Or we arrive in a building and there is a door within the building, and that is the records. That's our records, right? That's where our records are being held. So just tune in with yourself for a moment and see, okay, is this what your records look like to you?
I think so. It's like it's strange because again in January I kept being drawn to a certain tree in a certain place, and then that led through to a building. But it's like I'm being drawn again to a tree in a place, but it's not to a building. And I don't know whether I'm trying to copy what I did in January or whether I am being drawn to a tree in a place.
Okay. Well, can you ask yourself that and see what happens to the visual? So are you copying what you've already seen, or is this where you truly are?
Mm, no, I don't think I'm copying because the building's not there.
What is there behind you? Can you turn around?
It's like silhouetted mountains. It's weird as well because I try and almost like scare myself by being there because it's dark, right? I'm in like essentially woods. Or
Mhm.
there's like mountains around. It should be scary, but it's just not. It's just like the nicest place.
That's what you know, right? That's not what you know on the deep level. That's what you know cognitively,
Mm.
right? That this I should not feel safe here because I am in the woods. Yeah.
Mm. I don't want to leave it, so that's a good thing.
That is very good. Yeah. Okay. So, like I said, this can be, it's really funny. I think you're going to laugh about this. It's why I asked you to turn around. Because when I read your records without your presence, and I described this to you before, like it was like a pub,
Mm.
where it was like a pub space. So, what I am visualizing is I'm standing in that space and looking out the window, and I see you
Oh.
amongst the trees. So that was that, and I saw you turn around too. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting because she doesn't see me, right? Yeah. So because you don't see the building, right? And I'm like, oh, that is fascinating because but I see you walk around. Like I see you like when I said, can you turn around? I saw you do it. Yeah. So I am in the same space. So that I find that interesting how the records show themselves
Mm.
to each of us individually. Yeah. And like for all I know, is the reason they show me the pop I seen before, and I have to because we talked about this on beforehand. It doesn't feel as desolate as
Yeah.
it yeah, it feels warmer and not as abandoned as
Oh,
it did 2 years ago. So that is interesting. It feels like a warmer, more comfy space.
yeah. There was a
Yeah.
bit there when I went in January, which I there wasn't when you went in. I don't think it was very bare and empty, and it didn't feel lived in. But I
Yeah.
wonder how for me if the field is the records and the tavern is that life.
That
Like
is
it
possible.
feels kind of as where I'm trying to go back there, it doesn't feel like I need to go there today, which is why maybe I can't go the same route that I went last time.
And also you can't see it because I see you. But when you turn around, you see mountains.
Yeah.
You don't see the actual tavern. I love how you because it feels it feels like a sort of older thing, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a pub the way we would see it now, right? So
Oh,
you it does feel more like a tavern. Yeah. Yeah. Love that. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so now we're in the records. We're gonna start off like with the main question, and we're just gonna see where that leads, right? So we're gonna ask. So we start with the first part of that bigger question: is acting still part of McKenna's creative purpose? Is acting still part of McKenna's creative purpose? And then let's just see what comes up for you.
I get duh, but like I don't know if that's me.
Uh, how long before you got the duh?
Uh, a little while I sat down and like looked up at the sky and it's just like duh. But again, don't know if that's me.
The distrust is strong in this one. Okay, let's ask that though. Let's ask like where did the dog come from? Did that came from within the records, or did that came um, from McKenna herself, like on a more like ego level?
I get it's the way that I interpret the feeling. I guess like it's weird because I said to you before that I get feeling, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a feeling is trying to communicate words, but because I don't feel like I can hear, it's my interpretation of what the feeling is.
So right now you are getting a very particular feeling. You're saying,
Yeah, like a
okay.
fake calm almost. Maybe not quite that dramatic, but
Yes, so where in your body do you feel the feeling? Okay, can you locate it anywhere?
kind of like heart, like maybe not heart, slightly higher on chest, just like
So between your heart and your throat.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Stay with that for a moment. And this feeling, like, does it have a shape or a color, or can you describe it in any sense, in any way, like visually?
Mm, not bad. It's like a pressure, but it's not like a negative pressure. It's just like a comforting, almost like a weighted blanket.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good distinction, right? Because pressure can, like, the first reaction I have to pressure is, oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
But a weighted blanket is very good. Yeah. Okay. So you say you feel it. There's you can't visualize it, but this is the feeling it gives you. Yeah. Okay. So can we ask the this weighted blanket sensation what it's here for?
I feel like I'm trying to answer that.
Okay, we'll just breathe through that for a moment. What is the weighted blanket here for?
Kind of like not stop. I keep doing this because it feels like I'm constantly doing this, like trying to pull forward. It's almost like stop.
So the way the blanket is holding you in position.
Not like negatively. It's almost like a, we said about allowing,
Mm-hmm.
that rather than trying to keep pulling and forcing, it's kind of like a sit down, take a breath.
Okay, okay, okay.
Keep getting comfort, but I think that's just my association of blanket.
Well, I mean, there's a reason it shows up as a weighted blanket, right? They have
Mm.
a very specific purpose. Can we ask the blanket what role it's currently playing in your life?
I get healing.
Okay. What kind of healing? Or what is it healing?
Now I get like stuff, but it's like, I think it's me trying to intellectualize it. It's not.
So when that happens, we just ask the question again, right? We just breathe. And we'll ask again, what is it healing? What is the blanket here to heal?
I'm not getting anything.
Okay. Okay. Let me check in with, because I am very much being told to just sit back and
I knew
uh,
you'd do that.
hmm?
I knew they would do that.
Let you get the answers. We're having feline support, so that's always useful. Um, okay, so what is the, and maybe we're not supposed to have the answer, right? That's, what is the weighted blanket? What is it trying to heal? What is it here to heal? Because the first word I am getting is misfit, and then I'm getting this sensation of trying to, what I'm seeing is, when you're like when you're a kid, like a toddler, right? And you have the toy with like, there's like a star shape and it's like a square space, it's like a circle, and then you have the blocks that need to fit, right? And I can just see someone, maybe it's you, like trying to jam, like, oh, it's the star shaped block. Um, It's both this. It's really interesting. It's the star-shaped block through the circle, which isn't fitting, obviously, and then also the square-shaped block through the star. That's what I'm. That's what I'm seeing, right? So none of the pieces are fitting, right? Okay. So what does this stand for? What is this? Okay, now I see. I don't know if this sensation you're familiar with, but now I see you, like, what you want to do is just, stand up straight, stand up tall, and face like directly, right? a bit like mountain pose in yoga, just like, um, but there's this feeling that you have to shift your body to be perceived in the right light, I almost want to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then I feel this frustration that you just cannot seem to figure out how to contort yourself.
Mm.
Um, it's almost like I know there's a game. I know the rules. I've read the rules, right? I've read the rules multiple times. Why can I not play the game?
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
That's the feeling I'm getting. Um, and in that, what I'm sensing is that you're like the vision of you. The more you contort your body, is the smaller you're getting.
Yeah.
Like in comparison to the first, like the ideal you, right? The way you want to be is just standing straight like mountain pose. This is it, right? This is who I am, what I am. And in that moment also like the light hits you from the front, so all of you is highlighted, right? And when you start contorting, there's like shadows enter.
Mm.
That's the vision I'm getting. uh, so what in there, because if the weighted blanket is here to heal something, what in that vision is what needs the healing, right? What specifically needs to be healed within you then? Yeah, I'm immediately getting that there's a part of you that's that's still questioning,
Mm.
like, but maybe the rules of the game are there for a reason, and maybe it's me, maybe it's not the game, right?
Mhm.
So it's like part of you knows that the game is rigged, right?
Yeah.
But there's also part of you that's like, but maybe it's me. um, and I don't know, like, and I sense there's actually a part. How do I, where is that in that? I'm trying to, because I feel it. There's a part of you, but I don't know where it is in relation to your body right now. I feel there is a part of you that is sort of asking in a very curious way, actually. So not in an angry or defensive or frustrated, but in a very curious way. I hear this question, um, like, can I change the game?
Mm.
Like, how can I change the game? Right? So I don't know if that is because it kind of feels like it's 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 nowhere in your body, but it's around your body.
Mm.
So it's almost like you've detached yourself from that part of you that actually would love to see how the game can be changed.
Mm.
Yeah. Does that resonate at all?
Yeah, I think it's where I've started producing as an avenue to act. So it's like, well, if the jobs won't come that way, I'll create my own work and force myself into the project.
So the way you're doing that right now, does that change the way, like does it change the system? Is basically what I feel like I need to ask you.
So change the system. I think,
Like outside of your bubble of
yeah.
what you can create for yourself,
Mm.
does the rest remain the same?
I think when I produce and cast other people, I think the way I do that and the way I work on a set is very different to the way it's ran currently.
Okay.
But I feel like to do that, I'm always sacrificing what I want to do so that I can be that side of the fence, so that I can change things for other people. I don't know that I can change it whilst just acting.
Is that, do we need to ask whether acting is your only creative purpose or whether it's just part of your creative curriculum? Is that something you want to ask?
I feel like I should. I
That's not what
don't-
I asked.
yeah, yeah, let's ask it. Why not?
Yeah. Okay. So is acting, because you even yourself said just acting, which is an interesting choice of word, right? The just in front of that triggers all kinds of stuff in me. Um, so is acting McKenna's creative purpose, period? Or is it part of her creative curriculum? And of course, if it is the latter, where does it fit within the greater creative purpose that McKenna has this lifetime? Okay, now I'm getting a nice visual, but I want to hear what you get.
I feel like I've blocked myself because I feel like I'm getting emotional. So I'm like, no, don't look, don't need to look.
Well, okay, so you're getting emotional. What is it? What is it that you're feeling?
Mm. I don't know. I think there's just like a lot of hurt, but I don't think it's something that not I haven't dealt with because I guess I didn't carry it. I think it's like that version of myself that was going out for the jobs.
So that is so. What time? What when? Like, does this version is does she have an age? Like, is this a very particular time?
Late teens, early 20s, I'd say.
And is there a reason? Can we ask her why she's coming up right now?
Protection.
Okay. Okay, so you said late teens, early 20s. Protection as in, like, does it feel similar to the weighted blanket? Or is it two different notions?
It's different, I think. I think there's part of me that doesn't want to be that part of myself again. And I think it's
Mhm.
almost a reminder of that, I guess.
And why, like, just looking at that version of yourself or sensing that version of yourself, right?
Mm.
Why don't you want to be that version anymore?
I think she lost her way a lot. Uh, she was put in like, well, I was put in a lot of,
You can talk, if it's easier, you can talk to her about, like, as this different version. So you can talk about her in the third person. That sometimes makes it easier.
yeah, there was just like a lot of negative experiences from acting and from being on sets and stuff like that. And then I think like I don't want to do that again. So I don't know whether it's like almost rather than getting on the boat and leaving the shore. It's kind of like having one foot on the shore. I don't know. That's a weird metaphor for that, but
Okay, I want to ask you to visualize something, like metaphorically, right? Where you are in the records. If you hold your hands up, and in one hand there is that version of you, so the one who's just, getting started in the business. I think that's where you were, right? When you, right? You said late teens, early 20s,
yeah.
right? So if you have that in one hand and you have in your other hand your desire to act, how do they react to each other? Like, how do they, when you hold them in your hands together, what happens to your hands?
Feels so different. It's kind of like she's like the reality of that, but the desire to act is very like pure and aligned and feels right. So I feel like she doesn't want to be close to that. Well, not that she doesn't want to. I feel like she feels like she can't be.
So you mean she cannot be close to the desire to act?
Mm.
And why is that?
Dangerous.
So in that life, where was the desire to act? Sorry. Where was the desire to act in that life? Let me ask that differently. Um, the desire to act that you hold in your hand now,
Mm.
is that your current desire to act? Or was that her desire to act?
I feel like as it is now, it's mine.
Mm-hmm. And how does her desire to act, like, can you bring that in as well? Like, can you, when you were at that age, what did the desire to act look and feel like?
It keeps getting muddled. It's like what she wanted it to be versus what her experience of it were.
Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm.
So I think when I try and ask about her desire, it's overruled by what she almost learned that it was.
Is there any in her life, is there any room for that desire that you're feeling?
I feel like it's still there. It's just very not given up, not worn down. It's almost like at the bottom of a sea.
Hmm. For that version of you?
Yeah. And she's like treading water at the top.
That's a nice visual. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah. Okay. So when you look at where you are now, how would you describe yourself in relationship to that desire to act? If that version of you is like threading water at the top and the desire is at the bottom of the ocean, basically, at the bottom of the sea, like, where are you now?
I feel like she was trying to bury it.
Your previous version.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas I feel like now it's just kind of like an accepted that it's there, as annoying as that is. Feels calmer.
Hmm. I want you to ask that desire to act what it needs to be fulfilled. If it had terms and conditions for being used, what are they?
Get chameleon, but
That's the word you get, or is it a vision you get?
it's like a changing of colors, like a chameleon
Okay.
um, skin kind of thing.
And what does that mean in this context? Who is the chameleon?
But it's like shapeshift.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like a shedding of the skin, or I feel like it's the I'm seeing an onion. It's kind of like the layers of no, not the layers. The core stays the same, but the ability to keep
Okay.
changing the outer.
So core same, but is it the outer layers that are able to shift?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask again. Who is this chameleon shapeshifter onion?
Chameleon shapeshifter onion. Mm.
Who or what remains the same at the core while the outer layers are able to shift and change color?
Feel like it's my perception of me, or where I could be if I get. I think it's that mountain version without the contortion, like you were saying.
The mountain pose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that version rather than all contorted and shadowed. It's that's the core, which then gives you the ability to shapeshift around that, I guess.
Okay, so if you stay with that visual of that, like there's the mountain pose, there's the contortion. The version of you that contorted, what happened to their core? Did that stay the same? Or did that trying to contort affect the core anyway?
I think the core is being crushed,
So
but
the,
it's
the
not changed. It's just not suppressed, not like suffocated, I guess. It's a strong word.
the contortion you said crushes the core and suffocates it.
Yeah. God, it sounds so dramatic when you read it back.
This is what we're getting. So we'll play with it. It makes sense too. Because if we're still in the yoga lingo, right?
Mm.
We do like twists, right?
Mm.
Um, to have that compression, right? And compression can be good, but crushing or suffocating, if you stay in it too long, not so good,
Mm.
right? So the twist only works if you can get back into like your mountain pose or your free pose, right?
Mhm.
So you say that that is the goal. The goal is to be the mountain pose, um, to have that stable core.
Yeah, that's what I want. That would be nice.
Okay. Does it feel aligned with you, that vision?
Feels like it should be.
That is
That's
interesting. Where is the shoot coming from?
true, doesn't it? Um, I feel like, again, this is probably ego, but I feel like it's unfair to want that if it's not the case. Does that make sense?
I'm trying to make sense of that. Can you say that? Can you say that again, different words? Because I feel like because now I am getting a sort of a pushback from the records. How would you how would you say the same thing differently? That's what they want to know.
Unjustified?
Okay. And by whom? Like who makes that call?
Not me. As a vessel? It's weird wording.
Well, in the end, that's what we are.
Yeah.
It's a vessel. Is there anything else coming?
Yeah, but again, don't know if it's just me.
Let's see.
Um, when I was younger, I used to have tantrums, but I wouldn't have an outright tantrum. I'd turn my back on everyone and raise my shoulders and roll my bottom lip out and cross my arms. And just seeing that.
So the way you describe it, it's like you're describing a tantrum that is not an actual tantrum
Yeah.
because it's because the way we perceive a tantrum is like the screaming and you did that differently.
Mm.
So what does that mean? Feeling did it feel like a tantrum to you, or has it been described to you as a tantrum?
I think described as a tantrum
Okay.
where I'm trying to make it fit.
So they're trying to make it fit.
No, I'm trying to make it
Are you
fit.
okay?
So weird. I keep going through like, because I say I feel more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
I keep going through like really drastic emotional states. I'm like, I can't follow this. I don't know what you're trying to tell me.
Do you care to share with the class what these are?
Um,
Or or
Yeah.
perhaps what the meaning of them is for you.
There's all the hurt of that previous self, and then like a real frustration. And now it's just back to content, just super content, sat in the field.
I was writing. Can you repeat that last time?
Then just like content sat in the field.
Okay, that's where you are now. Yeah. So how do you get from the hurt of your previous self to your real frustration to the content sitting in the field? What is the path?
Annoying, but I just keep getting this vision of me just laying in the field. I'm like, really not helping. I just lay down and wait.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, because I got certain visuals
Mhm.
as well. So let me share those with you and then see if then certain things fall into place. Yeah. So I need to go all the way back because we've gone on quite a trip here. Um, when we started asking that about whether acting is like part of the curriculum or is it the curriculum or is it the purpose or is it just quote unquote I got this sort of I saw this loop. It's almost like a feedback loop. So I really got this. The words I got where it feeds into each other. So it's this sense of you did the acting, you learned what you don't like about it, so you do it your way. But then what I'm getting, so that's I feel that's where you are now, and then what I'm getting for the future. So and the feedback loop is like the infinity symbol, the eight, right? So now you are on the one end, right? And you need to make that curve and go back to the acting. So what I feel is that you're at this point of now you know for yourself what would by doing it for others, you know what would be better for you. Does that make sense? Like you have practiced a different after seeing, okay, this is not what I like about this game, right?
Mm.
You've tried to see, okay, how can I play the game myself differently if I'm on that end? And now I see that you're at this point, like how does that feed back into the acting?
Yeah,
But
like how do I
you're,
do that
yeah.
slide on my tones?
And then I get that that is gonna keep feeding back into. So I don't see when I see your career as a, like an actress and a producer, I don't feel it's I don't see them as two parallel paths. It's almost like a DNA, right? It's like completely wrapped in each other and it's connected. So it's like it develops together. But where you are right now, the development has stopped. So it's like when you have the figure eight, like I said, you're now at the curve, so you can't see the rest of the path because you're at the top of the curve. So you don't know what the rest of the path is.
Mm.
Does that resonate at all when I describe it like that?
Yeah, yeah, I'm very much on the producing side currently. And it's just like, I just don't even know how to get there, step towards there, should be there, don't know. Yeah, that makes sense.
You said should be there, so you mean on the producing side of things?
No, no, like, should I be on the acting side? But I think this is me. This isn't. I don't see a way where I can solely act and have the control over the project to be able to do it in a way I like to do it without the producing. So, like, intellectually, what you're saying, I'm like, yeah, makes sense to me.
Okay, that's great, but I wanted to make sense on a more somatic level,
Yeah.
preferably, because I do get the feeling that one of your questions is it one or the other?
Mm.
And I want to ask, why does it have to be one or the other?
I think because, I mean, it doesn't. I think it's to do with perception, I guess, of like, um, what's that saying? The master of too many skills, something like that. The jack of all trades.
Yeah, a master of none.
Yeah.
That's the one, right? A jack of all trades is a master of none.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what if you are the master of one? Because what if you can be the master of one because you are very familiar with the other? Or what if you can become master of both by doing them together?
Mm.
And you say jack of all trades, and I see two trades here.
Yeah.
So it's not all trades.
Seen the child having a tantrum again.
Yeah, and you said perception, and I was like, is it you were doing something and it was perceived as something, and that's or it's perceived as something else. That's what I'm getting with. But why are you seeing the child again?
I think it's like she wants to just go play, but of course she has to fix it so she can play. It's like, God's sake, I'll do it. I'll fix it, and then I'll be able to do what I want to do.
That sounds very much like I don't like the way these things are being done.
Mm.
So let me do it myself so I can fix it.
Yeah, like
But
she,
you're at this you're stuck at the and then I'll play again.
yes, so she just, I think it's the feeling of like, it shouldn't have to be fixed. She just wants to play, but it's, yeah, it's the like, hold my beer, I'll fix it, then I'll play.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
To me, yeah, because to me it sounds very much like when I think of that figure eight, is like the future version of yourself that came through is like the person who realized I don't actually like how this is done. There's stuff wrong here, right? And then what you did was okay, well, then I'll produce stuff my own way and I'll cast in a different way and I'll do all those things that I saw issues with in a way that feels more aligned with me or it feels better. Um, but now I feel like what you would love is for that to feed back into you playing.
Mm. I think what I would love is for that to just be the industry, and then I just get to play in that. I don't have to fix it.
But what if you're the fixer?
throwing a tantrum because
You don't want to be the fixer. That's okay. That's okay. But I am curious whether you are that's not, I'm curious whether you are the fixer. Um, let's ask, right, where you are right now, right? How do you go? Like, let's ask the records. Like, how does McKenna, from where she is right now, get back into playing? Well, let's see what they say. So, how does McKenna get back into playing from where she is right now?
not getting anything.
The immediate thing I got is that it's like you should not forget that the whole thing is your playing field.
Mm.
So it's almost like you focus on a particular spot on the board where you want to be, but actually the whole board is the playing field. Um, that's what I'm getting. That doesn't answer our question of how does McKenna get back. Um, so I'm going to try that one more time, and then I'm going to ask that second part of the question we decided and see if that maybe shakes something loose. Um, because it's great to understand where you are. We would like to know how to move forward with that.
Mm.
Hmm. So can you tell me more about that playing field, and why McKenna needs to remember that the whole thing is the playing field? Hmm.
I just keep getting nothing happens in isolation.
Can we ask what the records are trying to tell you with that? Can they elaborate? Nothing happens in isolation.
I think I'm blocking it now. Like,
Okay. I'm gonna tell you what I got, or the
mm,
sense I got, and I want you to really feel like in your body whether that resonates or whether I'm completely on the wrong track. Okay. So what I sense was a certain reluctance to purpose,
mm,
almost like you're dodging a responsibility here.
interesting.
And I mean, does that resonate at all? Or are you like, no?
Yeah, because I feel like I get that feeling, but then I feel like I don't know what to, like, what the purpose is. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's the tantrum. That's the fine, I'll fix it. I don't want to have to fix it. I just want to play.
Yeah. But what if you came here to make sure other people could just play?
I don't want to do that.
What is that? What does that feel like? That idea?
Annoying. Like,
Annoying. Okay.
it feels like middle child. Do you know what I mean? of like having to middleman and fix it for everyone else.
Mm-hmm. But what if once you fixed it, you can play?
But can I? Interesting.
Who's asking that?
It's like a different feeling. I just went um the the tavern life.
Mm-hmm.
I just was back on the cobbled street again, and I don't. That's all I saw, but I don't know if that was the same life though. No, it doesn't feel like the same. It's like a cynicism, like a slimy's not the word.
What's not the word?
Slimy, like a heavy.
And what do you feel that in relation to in particular? What's causing that feeling?
It looks like a different place. I just feel bitter.
So, because you brought up the tavern,
Mm,
so did you travel to another lifetime?
yes.
Okay.
I don't think it was the tavern one.
Doesn't mean there cannot be another tavern. Maybe that's a thing for you. Tavern.
I mean, yeah. It was like a not a cobbled street, but not a cobbled street.
So you feel bitterness this lifetime.
Mm.
Do you know what you're bitter about?
Being on the outside?
Okay. And what made you feel like that you're on the outside?
Just get people.
It's other people.
Mm.
And what did you do this lifetime?
Don't know. It's really weird. It's not like a bird. So weird. It's not like my face, but it's kind of how I'm seeing my face, but I can't quite make it out. And it's not
Mhm.
like a bird, but it's like quite hooked.
Is it a mask?
Not in a literal sense. Just keep saying woods again. And I'm like,
What is she saying?
keep seeing woods. And I'm like, is
Oh,
this
what's
because it's familiar to me that I just keep putting that there? Do you know what I mean?
yeah. Maybe you just have, I mean, look at the background of your room. You're a very woodsy person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened in this lifetime to this person?
Okay. It's not anger, but it is just bitter.
Hmm. Okay, if we're not getting any more about the specifics, then I want to ask, how does this bitterness that you experienced that lifetime affect where you are today? How does this bitterness affect where you are today?
Hedging my bets.
That's the phrase you get?
Yeah. And I see the
Hedging your bets. Okay.
yeah, I see the boat again, like the rowboat with the one foot on the
Mm-hmm. So is this about not committing to the one or the other?
no.
What bets are you hedging in this lifetime?
Get cautious.
Okay. Is that a feeling that you're familiar with this lifetime, being cautious? Is that how you go about your work with this sense of caution?
I wouldn't have used that word. I don't think it's telling me to be.
Okay. What is it trying to tell you?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to see if I can get anything that pulls these threads together. how does all of this, and the question is for you to ask as well, like how does all of this relate to each other and what we came here for today?
I think I'm now second guessing myself. I'm like,
Well, I because I am getting lots of different visuals. So what are you getting?
that I put the past life thing in my own head, that I'm back on the cobbled street because that's what I've thought seen before, that the woods is just an easy choice. Then I was like, right, let's go back to the field. Let's just sit in the field for a sec. And I can't get back to the field. It's like a weird limbo feeling.
Hmm. That I saw different things, but that limbo feeling that resonates with me.
Mm.
Um, but I'm also trying to see the common thread here, and how do we bring this back
Mm.
to our original question?
Sorry if you hear my stomach rumble.
What did you say?
Sorry if you just heard my stomach rumble, but it was so
Oh
loud.
no, I didn't hear it. Or maybe I
Mm.
didn't. I just thought it was one of my cats. Hmm.
Yeah, we're blaming cats.
How does this? How does all of this affect where McKenna is right now and the place she's at, and her current struggle of not seeing? Okay, then how? How do I make this work for me again? Okay, the first thing I'm because I got a very like I saw all these things, and as soon as I asked that, there was just like I saw this like one path, and then the rest is just not noise, but just part of it. So it's all relevant to the path, but it's not what the path is about. So it was all sort of like doing this, and this was there, and this part that we saw was here. And as soon as I asked the question, specifically like how can McKenna make this work for her, I saw the sort of I want to say like the Red Sea, but it was more like woods, and then there's like this bright path, right? And everything else is among the trees. But very much the sense that the other things are necessary on the path, but they're not the path.
So what
Um,
is
mhm. So the kind of the message that I'm guessing that it's you're gonna love hearing this, that I what I'm getting is that on a certain level, um, you know exactly what you're here for, but there's a lot of noise on that line, right? There's fear. Um, there is some like old stuff that needs to be cleared to make like the vision clearer, right? That's what I saw. Like everything was sort of like shoo, like the path becomes clear. So it can be there. We can understand it, we can work through it, and then the path just becomes clearer. But what I'm getting now is that on some level, you already know what you came here to do. but there is a reluctance.
I think there's like a how do I get to do it?
Yeah. Okay, so that's the clarity we're missing.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's ask that. Like, how does McKenna get to do that? How does McKenna get to do that? And then preferably in sort of practical action steps. Those will be very welcome. Okay, first thing I'm getting is because you're working on a project right now, right? You are somewhere not here. What are you getting?
Water. I just keep seeing water.
In combination with that boat
Not just
or
water.
just water? Okay. What does water mean to you? God knows.
Drink more of it. Yeah, I don't know.
What then we can ask the records that, right? What does water symbolizes in this moment? What does it represent? Okay. The first thing I'm getting is learning to swim.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting.
Keep getting flow, but I don't want to say that because it annoys me because I keep getting accept and flow and just allow. And I'm like, that's not an actual step to me. That's not something in my
That's
like,
not a practical action step.
no, it's
Hmm.
like just allow. And I'm like, yeah, for how long? Until I'm 80? I don't know. How long?
82 specifically is what I'm getting now. Um, no kidding. What I got was in terms of practicality is that you are working on a project right now, right?
Yeah.
So what I saw was that finishing the project is what, because I'm still seeing that figure eight, right? So what I'm seeing is that project will bring you past the curve. So that will bring you on that next little, so on the first part, moving, so to finish the eight figure.
Mm.
I'm not being told what's that part of the eight figure is, right? Which is great. Um, which also, I mean, that sometimes that's exactly right. Sometimes we're not supposed to see what our full potential is or what is in store for us because then ego might interfere because ego might say like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that, right? So if the record keepers are like, no, if we show her this much, she's going to tell herself stories and going to pull out, right? Let's keep it simple. So immediately what I got when I asked that was that I saw you finishing up the project, and that will bring you on that next part of the infinity symbol of that journey. Um, but that's all I got. So I didn't get, and it's funny now. I'm just thinking now because you say like you're a projector, right? So when I ask action steps, that's a very generating kind of question to ask if you think of it in terms of human design, right? But I rather feel that your action step is to stay open for the next invite,
Yeah.
which is not the answer.
I keep getting told this, and I'm like, but that's really annoying because
Okay.
like you wait for indefinite amount of time, and I feel like they've told me this, and I keep getting told this, and I'm like, yes, I am allowing, yes, I am accepting, but also, what else can I do?
Yeah, but I think that's where it goes, not to say wrong, but that's where you start muddling the field yourself, right?
Mm.
because you are still trying to be a generator. Um, so how can McKenna actually accept surrender? Oh, no, let me rephrase that. What needs to be healed, released, or let go of, shifted for McKenna to go with the flow, to surrender in this lifetime? I'm the words I'm getting is on top of things, as if you're if as if you've been told repeatedly that you have to be on top of things, otherwise
Mm.
um it's not going to pan out.
Yeah.
That's sort of like you have to.
I think that's like an industry-wide thing, isn't it? Like you have to be constantly out there, constantly getting your name out, constantly on people's radars.
Yeah, so that's I'm like that I'm getting that's the story you need to let go of.
Mm.
That's a belief that's not serving you. This the shift I see you make is from believing that, like having been brought up in the industry, believing that, having been raised like that, to believe that, towards trusting. You're gonna laugh again. That
Big lessons this lifetime, eh?
yeah, great. Well, I think that speaks to for a lot of us that we're learning big lessons this lifetime. I think because there's space for that, um, and hence all the reluctance we're facing. Um, is that so? The shift towards trusting that all opportunities that are for you and aligned with you will come on, like these agreements have already been made, like the people you'll be working for and with those on soul level, these agreements have already been made, but the chasing is not doing you any favors,
Mm.
because when you're chasing you're not open to seeing what's there. Yeah, you love hearing this, I can see it in your
I
face.
know. And then I'm like, yeah, but how? If I'm not like looking for it or chasing it or putting my name out, how do I see it?
I think like redefine what looking for means,
Yeah.
because receiving doesn't mean sitting in your living room on the couch scrolling. Well, actually, scrolling through Instagram might actually still bring something, right? But doing a crossword, right? Like not engaging with the outer world. It's doing your thing and then staying open and then hearing, like knowing when something hits, and then you're like, oh wait, that is interesting. That like sparks my curiosity. Okay, so a homework I'm getting is think of all the things you would be doing with your time when you, like if you weren't chasing, like if you took the chasing, that feeling that you need to actively, right, chase leads and roles and stuff like that, if you take that out, what would you be doing with that energy? How would you, where would you put that towards? And then so this is a journaling thing that I'm getting, and then when you're done with that, see if you can, when you read that back, like can you see what opportunities might be in there, how that might open you up in a different way. I think that's what we need to shift, right?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I'm gonna ask because we're this is a very long reading. um
I feel like I always do this to you.
Well, that's, but that's also, it's not like, it's just, this is not an uncomplicated question,
Mm,
right? And I do like, I mean, and we're not done here today, right? Because I do, like, I find that this reluctance to purpose that I felt, right? I think there's a bit more to that. Like, what's underneath that,
mm,
right? Like, and like aspects of your childhood and previous lives popped up as well. So I'm like, okay, but that, since I am also not getting how that connects today, right? That might need some time before that unravels, right? So I don't think we're done here today. But what I do want to get you to a place where you feel like you can move forward. And I am afraid that the answer to moving forward is just keep doing what you're doing, which is, I mean,
okay.
as somebody who likes an action step, that's super frustrating.
Yeah.
Um,
When you said on it, I got it's already done. I was like,
what did I say?
you said on it. I think when you were asking, you got something like on it, and I got it's already done. I was
Well,
like,
so on top of things.
yeah, yeah. When you said on top of things, and when we were asking, I can't remember what question we were asking. I just kept getting it's already done. I was like, but it's not.
But is okay, but that part,
Mm.
but it's not who is speaking.
Oh, that's me, 100%.
Yeah. So it's about trusting that you have done the work you needed to do in that area, which is great. It's easy. So I know from experience that's the super easy part. Okay, I am going to ask. I'm curious if we see anything, and then we're going to, because otherwise we're going to stay here all day. Um, so the second question we had in mind, and I think we discussed it to a certain extent, was like, if acting is still part of McKenna's creative purpose, what can she do to bring more abundance and opportunities through this work? What can she do to bring more opportunities and abundance through this work? Mm.
I keep seeing like a ruler snapping. That's so strange.
In the same woods.
No, like a um like a loosen up, like shake it off, snap the ruler. Like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
so
Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
um, because being told to chill out in the history has definitely helped everyone chill out.
Yes, right. Like the best thing you can tell somebody to go with the flow is to just tell them to go with the flow. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And to chill out, to relax. Yeah.
Yeah.
Calm down has never calmed anyone down.
I kept seeing like horse riding, painting, trees, just like
Not bad, actually.
messing around, almost like a just try. No, not try. Like it's the other stuff, not the. Do you know what I mean? No, that doesn't make sense.
When you say messing around, does that mean you're playing, being
Yeah,
playful?
yeah, and like there's like a rigidity that needs to go.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, yeah.
That fits in with what I'm getting. Because what I got immediately was that there is somebody you already know out there, like, and so also somebody who knows you already, right? Um, but they will not. So this is about the being seen, right? And remember the mountain pose? And I said, when you're in the mountain pose, you have the light is like fully on you. There's no shadows,
Yeah.
right? So this feeling that I'm getting is that, and it fits in with the playing, right? And the horse riding and the painting. It's like the image I see of you is when you meet this person is that you have such a zest for life,
Mm,
right? So it's like the radiance. And that's when they notice and they're like, you're perfect for this thing I have in mind.
yeah.
That's what I'm getting. But what's so you need to work
Chilling.
on but not just chilling, right? Because rest is important, right? But the rest is not like the joy.
Yeah.
Like rest calms our nervous system, which is important, but the rest doesn't make us sparkle. Joy makes us sparkle.
Yeah.
So do things that set your soul on fire, right? If that's horseback riding, do that. If it's painting, do that.
I don't know what that is other than acting, which is sad, isn't it?
Why is that sad? What if that helps you let go of the rigidity and then that's how you become visible? And then that's when you land a role that fits you
Because like
and you get it in a way that works for you.
the only thing that I know that does that is acting, but then you need like permission to be able to do that in a space. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like, what do you do? Do you try on every hobby?
Are there other things that spark joy in your life? And
Mm,
if not, that's your own work.
yeah.
And also, you don't need permission to act. You need to have permission to act in a series or a feature film or right? But the acting itself, that doesn't need permission. You can act whenever you want.
Mm, yeah, it's funny.
What's funny?
It's just, you know, don't you? You know what you need to do, but it's just, I don't know, go find joy. It's like, okay.
Or the things you are already doing, right? Like, how can they become more joyful? Or why are you not enjoying them as you could right now? Like, what's in the way of that?
Mm,
And when you're in it, can you remind yourself, oh, wait, I'm allowed to enjoy this? Because that's also an allowance, right? You need to give yourself permission.
yeah, I got that hook thing again.
Yeah, what was that about?
No, I don't know if that's like it's like not like a pulling back, but like a not a grounding, because grounding can be positive.
You say it's not like a pulling back. Is it like a keeping you in line? Or is it not that either?
No, it feels like me, not this life, but
The hook feels like you.
yeah.
Okay. What is it hooking into? What is it pulling on?
It's like whenever you know when you're like, I don't know, doing something that lights you up, you almost feel like here rather than here.
Because yeah, the forward movement.
Let's
Yeah.
look at that.
So is it like in that moment you're feeling that pull back?
Yeah, but it's like an underlying, it's not quite as like it's like an undermining, almost like an undercurrent.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. So so this hook, right?
Mm,
Do we want to get rid of it?
yeah,
How do we get rid of it?
it's like a shadow of a person, like
Okay.
something under the previous life. And it's not that you shouldn't be joyful, not that you can't be joyful, not that whispers are really weird.
You say it's not that you can't be joyful, shouldn't be joyful.
From their perspective,
Yeah.
it's almost like a caution. It's like
That's the word caution again.
it's
So what are they cautioning you against?
what they could say, what they could do.
So it's trying to protect you
It's like,
from other people's perceptions, opinions, rejection.
yeah, I don't think it's necessarily like it feels more a physical something from them, like a that they've experienced or something, rather than like necessarily, I say just ostracization, but it is like a bitter, yeah, just like I keep doing this with my head because it is like an undercurrent of just like a yeah, but yeah, but yeah, but yeah, but which doesn't come from a nasty place, but is a
Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to come, right? This is the is a caution, right? And it could just be like, oh, I've experienced this and I didn't find this pleasant.
mm,
So now I'm trying to protect you from experiencing the same thing. So the thing I did that had people respond in a certain way, let's do less of that.
yeah,
It's a very common. So there is a certain grip there on you. Yeah. How do you visualize that when you imagine yourself? Like where is that? And how does that manifest in your body? Or because you said a hook. So I immediately see like a hook pulling at you, but maybe it manifests completely different.
it's like a wave.
A wave.
The water keeps going back, but it is like an undercurrent, and it's like
Yeah.
pulling you back under.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Okay, so let's ask the records how we can heal this. Like, what can we do what do we need to do? Do we need to make the undercurrent disappear? Do we need to make the waters calmer? What do they suggest? What's the best course of action here? Are you getting any?
Like a stillness, like I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'd forgive, but I don't know that that's me or not me, or maybe me.
Can you double check that? Can you ask, is this my ego interfering? Or am I actually getting this right?
It just goes to stillness.
Sounds okay. So how do we create that stillness? What can we do today to so what I am getting is I didn't even finish the question. Um, what I am getting is it's like I see the water, right? And then there's like um the tendrils of like it's almost like smoke, but it can't be because it's in the water, right? But it's like or it can be because we're in the records. But it's like the shadow you were talking about, but it's causing the undercurrent, right? So it's like how do we get that shadow out of the waters? Like how do we separate? How do we get that out of there? Well, I can do something there. It's almost like I feel like I'm combing the water, right? Um, I I feel like okay, so I feel like this version of you needs it's almost like reinsurance or something. Okay. Can you can you ask that version of yourself what it needs to hear or know right now to sort of loosen that grip? Like, is there anything she needs to know or hear right now?
That I'm not going.
Hmm?
That I'm not going.
Okay, that's not what we want. We wanted to let go. Um, okay, is there a reason that we are struggling to find a way to loosen that grip?
Familiar.
Hmm?
It's familiar.
Yeah, but for whom? Because what I'm getting is that she is like so used to holding on, to holding something back, that she no longer knows how to not do that. And I feel like the ripple effect of that through the like across time and space. So how can we let her let go? And then like and also I would like what part of you is maybe resisting that letting go?
I'm worried for her.
You are worried for her.
Hmm.
What are you worried about?
Her being lost, left.
Are these any worries that you have for yourself on some level?
I think I've definitely felt lost.
Okay.
Keep getting companionship, which just doesn't make any sense.
It does actually, because I'm shifting, because I'm very much looking for a way to loosen the grip, right?
Mm.
Because that's what we do. And I'm starting to wonder whether this person's actually trying to be a guide to you. So instead of loosening, maybe you need to make the connection better.
Mm.
And that will loosen her grip and still the waters. If you listen to her guidance. So in that, then the companionship makes sense, right?
Mm.
Can you ask this version of yourself? Um, Whether there's anything you have to learn from her this lifetime.
Mm.
I'm not getting anything, so I'm completely relying on you for this one. No pressure.
Like an Icarus too close to the sun worry.
Okay. That's her worry.
Yeah, I think that's why she's hanging on.
Makes sense in relation to the joy, right?
Mm.
And it's like a while ago. I had the when I asked the question, that poem came to me, and I don't think anybody knows the full poem, but it's the phrase, "What if I fall? But darling, what if you fly?"
Mm.
And now, like when you say Icarus, I'm like, okay, yeah, yeah, that makes sense to me. Because what if you fly?
She doesn't like that.
No, no, that is clear to me. Okay, okay. So what I'm sensing, because we have been here for a long time. Okay, so what I'm sensing is that a, a connection here, and I'm also not. I'm not feeling like I was able to push it back a little bit, but I'm not a like I didn't get any visual of how to clear it,
Mm.
get rid of it for you, right? So that makes me think, even though I didn't get any answers to that either, um, that there is something that's unfinished, that there's still something she wants you to learn, or something you have to learn from her. So, what I would suggest is that you meditate on this part of you, of this past life version of yourself, um, and then see if she's anything that she can tell you about why she's here, what she's trying to do. how it's holding you back, how it's been beneficial to you, right? Maybe it's also been helpful in a way. And then what she needs before she's able to let go. Like, is there anything she still needs um, from you in this lifetime? Or is there something she needs to understand about herself in her lifetime before she's able to loosen that hold she has? Because I can't do it now. There's yeah, and I also don't know yet if the answer is if she feels more understood, it calms down, and then it can be a fruitful connection to have, or whether it's just grab a blowtorch and make the connection go away. I don't know where we're going to land yet on this one, but that's where I am. So try to meditate on that or try to journal on that, what that part is. And I happen to know that you have Reiki. So you can also send Reiki to this version of yourself, of course, because Reiki goes across dimensions of time and space as well. And I mean, some of the symbols give us immediate access to the Akashic Records as well. Um, so you can do a distant reading to this version of yourself and see what comes up for you then.
Mm.
How does that sound?
Yeah, actionable.
Okay. Because we just entered our third hour, so it's a bit intense. Yeah. So I'm confident saying it's for the higher good of us both that we'll close your records. Before we do close, how are you feeling?
Tired.
How was this? Let me close, and I want to ask how this was for you. Okay, are you ready to close? Ready to come back? Okay. Let me look up the right one. Okay. With deep gratitude, we thank the record keepers for all the wisdom, healing, and information given during this reading. May the healing and wisdom we've received here today continue to help for as long as they are needed. This circle is complete, and your records, Makenna, are now closed. Did you feel that?
Yeah.
Okay, how was that? Quite a trip.
Yeah. Sorry that was so long. And
That is, but and this is actually this has come across before with somebody. I know somebody who's a reader and they just sense things. So their readings take longer because when you sense things, you have to translate them. Like if you just get like a sentence or you see a thing, right? But if one of your clairs is sentience, right? You need an extra step because you need to interpret. Okay, what is this feeling? What connotations do I have? Like you get faster at it because you will, oh, I feel this. So I know I often feel this when this happens, right?
yeah,
It's a longer process. Yeah. So I'm glad we had the time to create space for that so that you could
I really
work
appreciate
through though.
it. I know that's
Yeah.
a lot.
How are you feeling now? Like, and how was that for you?
Yeah, good. I
I
don't know.
I feel like we've just opened like a little tin and we've just started opening, like just pulling back the
Yeah,
top.
just
That's
like,
yeah.
is it not simple? Why is that always with me? Like, oh yeah, there's this thing that we now have to do. Like, oh, okay. Just bringing them all with me this time.
But that is, and I find what I got, the reluctance to purpose, right?
Mm.
That is those are the people who are like, why is it never simple? Like, why does it have to be complex? It's because when you incarnated in this life, you've made a certain agreement to sort some shit out. Um, but it's a can be a very bitter, by speaking of bitterness, bitter pill to swallow.
Yeah.
To be like, okay, wait, I signed up for this. What do I then do with that?
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, people can just exist, just live a life. That's so nice. I love that for them.
So you are team ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, wouldn't that be lovely? It just,
But the good thing is that if you do have that reluctance, right, there's often a reason why you're reluctant.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's also something you can journal about. Like, why, what is this reluctance coming from? That can also be from a past life. Like, perhaps you've been in a similar position or a similar role, and it didn't go the way you wanted. So,
Mm.
so it's like you have proof, right? But of course, you're here. Like, if that is the case for you, but I've seen this in other people. You're here to do something similar, but it's like, okay, well, you know, you've learned, so we're gonna do a similar thing, and the lessons you've learned that life you're going to apply, so now it's not going to go wrong, right? It's going to go right. But a lot of us, in like what our body, our DNA remembers is, but that went wrong and I didn't like that feeling.
Mm.
So wading through those emotions and wading through, like, I have seen my, like, if you give me this, like if you give me a slice of power, this is how I fuck up.
Mm.
Okay, what did you do after you fucked up? What did you learn from that? Are you already applying these lessons in your life? Oh, wait, yes, I would never make the same mistake again because I've actually incorporated the lesson already. So I don't need to worry about that anymore. But that is a process,
Yeah.
getting to that point where you're like, oh, wait, that takes time and integration. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot to process there.
Yes, this was, and it does remind me of the reading we did 2 years ago because that was also a lot to process. Yeah. But
Yeah.
maybe this is just what it is for you. There's a lot of,
Good.
because it's all connected. Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank
So
you.
maybe that's also something it's time you accept
Yes.
for yourself. This is just what it is. You're very welcome. I do feel for the people who see the whole thing.
I know. How are you? How are you doing? It was a
Oh,
lot.
well, it's lunch. It's definitely lunchtime for me. So I was like, you were talking about your stomach, and I was sort of sick. Like, I'm so glad my stomach is not rumbling yet. That's what I was like. We're good. We're good. Yeah. Yeah, no, I need to, because this is long for me as well, so I need to shake this off. Yeah,
Yeah. I hope it gives you content.
I'm sure it will, and I'm sure. And but what I think is good, what I hope people will get out of this. So, I mean, if you're watching this and you've made it to the end, and this is what you got out of it, do let me know. It's like showing, like, if even if you don't do the work actively, like what might happen, like how you can tune into yourself if you're given the space to follow these threads, to sit with a feeling, to ask a certain question. Like, what if you're not being rushed, or what if your ego is not telling you, like, ah, this is bollocks? What might come to the fore if if you're allowed, if you're given permission um, to really check in and really connect um, with that. Yeah. So that's what I hope people get out of that. So if you do, if that's what you got out of that, let us know. And if you got something else out of it, do let us know as well. I want to thank you for this. I'm going to stop the recording now.